Hey guys, it's Heather the Crochet Witch. How are you doing today? I do have a co-host. He is wanting some attention and being awfully needy, aren't you? It's only been a few minutes between videos with the other tag I put out and then this one. But I had mentioned in that one that I was going out to check on him because of the fireworks, which they really don't bother him. He gets a little worked up just because he thinks it's somebody knocking at the door. And then when he realizes it isn't, he doesn't care that much. But he's just always a little bit needy, aren't you, baby? Aren't you? So if you see me like off to the side or hear the clicking of my rings, that's because I'm petting him. You gonna come say hi? You gonna come say hi? Say hi, everybody. Hey, say hi. Say hi. No? Okay. Nope, we're just gonna sit by Mama. Oh, sorry, itchy eye. Anyway, this is the second tag that I got tagged in from Fiber Spiders. Hi, Fiber Spider. Thank you again for tagging me in both of these. They're so fun to make your little lists and, you know, kind of let everybody know. Okay, we're laying down. Okay. Kind of let everybody into your little, you know, like world of your personality, and I don't know how to put it, but get a little Heather insight here, you know. The two things that he combined in this one are a tag that is going around for, I believe it's your top 10 playlists. And I don't know if originally it was to listen to like while crocheting. I don't listen to a lot of music, which is weird, right? Because I listen to music all the time. So, I mean, maybe a little bit. Or like I watch music videos kind of deal. But when I'm crocheting, I tend to like watch, that's when I watch my TV or catch up on my videos or whatever for all the other YouTubers that I watch. But I don't know, I listen to music more like in the car or at work or just like stuff like when I'm going to bed sometimes. But either way, these songs would be good for crocheting too also. But it's a playlist, and then there are 10 crochet-related questions. So, again, I busted out my little notebook here, and we're going to go through the playlist first, and then the crochet questions. So, I am going to start by saying it wouldn't be a Heather list if I didn't say that I have grouped a lot of these things. So, instead of just 10 songs, which Fiber Spider did a great job of that. Like, I don't know how he managed to whittle down like favorite groups into just one, or, you know, but he did a very good job with that. I have more, my playlist here is more like groups. There was a couple of groups that I did manage to only get one song for, even though I love all of their stuff, but most of it, you'll see. Number 1 is Typo Negative. And I wrote down like some songs of theirs that I would consider maybe my favorite. But I mean, honestly, if I have a favorite band, I tend to love pretty much everything that they put out. So that's why I'm like, how do you pick? You know, they're themselves a whole vibe. Like, but Typo Negative, and if you've been around the channel, you know how much I absolutely love Peter Steele. I feel spiritually connected to Pete. I really do. I just, his genius and his creativity, and I don't want to get into all of it because I'm probably going to cry, but we lost him way too early. More to come in later videos on Typo Negative if you're a fan, because I have things I want to talk about. But for now, like if I had to pick, gun to your head, favorite song ever, it would be Cinnamon Girl, which I know is actually, they redid it, and it was originally, I want to say by Roy Orbison, but I might be wrong about that. Neil Young? I don't remember who originally did it. I've heard it, but I don't remember who originally did it, because Typo, see, here's the thing. When a Typo redid a song, they made it theirs. They didn't just redo it as the original flavor. They added their own spices and their own mixture and their own ingredients, and they made it absolutely Typo Negative, right? So Cinnamon Girl is my favorite, whether it's a remake or not. But then Black Number One, because honestly, like, I know Pete just kind of took every goth girl cliche that he could and threw it into one big mixture. But Black Number One is me. It's my gothic little heart, with the exception of the fact that I don't dye my hair black. Other than that, anyway, Be My Druidess, because it's a good song. It is, it's sexy and it's hot and it's still dark and it's still very wonderfully Pete. And it's the more upbeat love song, again, lust song, if you will. But their big love song, which is the fourth song I've mentioned on here, is Love You to Death. It's probably one of their more well-known songs. And Black Number One probably was also. I personally, if you've heard of Typo Negative, I don't understand you not knowing basically their whole album collection, but that's because I love them so much. Love You to Death was the slow, romantic, let's give all of the goth girls exactly what they want kind of romance cover, you know, that, except it's not a cover song, it's their own. But yeah, that's kind of an eclectic mixture of like a sampling if you want to look it up, or if I remember to link any of it. I'll try to remember to do that. Fiber Spider also did a really great job of that, and he linked all of his songs, but I'm mentioning a lot of songs, so we should probably get with it. Number 2, I have Ed Sheeran. I love Ed Sheeran. I love him. He is, I would say, one of my guilty pleasures, just because he doesn't check the boxes of Heather normalcy. To me, he doesn't anyway. Like, maybe as you see me evolving into this music, maybe you'll be like, no, I see how Ed Sheeran fits in, but I personally don't. I try to be an outsider looking in, and I don't think Ed Sheeran does. So I would call him one of my guilty pleasures. But that being said, I am very, no, I don't want to say that way. That sounds bad. I do take great pleasure in listening to Ed Sheeran. The songs that I specifically listed to suggest you check out, I guess, and they're definitely ones that I would flip to first on a playlist. Magical, I love that song. I love it. It's just so sweet and almost like fairy tale-y in its own right, even though it's, you know, a love song, but it's very, I don't know how to exactly, just, I love it. American Town, like, these are 3 of his newer songs. I feel like a lot of people know his older stuff. I'm sure a lot of people know his newer stuff too, but I just wanted to hit on more of the newer songs. But American Town, which is my English girl in an American town. I just, oh my gosh, I love it so much. It almost reminds me of like a mirror of, like, I was the American girl in an English town when I had moved to England for a little while there. I don't know, I love it so much. I could sing it. In fact, I have gone through and sang it through work, so I'm sure most of my coworkers know all the words to it also. And then Life Goes On, which is definitely a more like sad, in your feelings kind of song. But Ed does that, right? He has really upbeat, jumpy, dancey kind of songs, and then he has Stuck Inside of My Own Trauma kind of songs, and I love his wide range. I love everything. Number 3 is Bon Jovi, which hands down my favorite band ever. I understand that I sport the Fozzy all the time. I rock the Fozzy, and I do absolutely love the Fozzy, and the Typo, but I would say Bon Jovi probably number 1. Typo's pretty close. Anyway, Bon Jovi. If nothing else, because I've known and loved them the longest. I was introduced to them when I was 4, I think, by my cousin, who had their first album, and oh my gosh, it was just true love ever since then. I absolutely love them. The songs that I have to talk about, I had to put Without Love, because hands down, that is my absolute favorite song ever. Like, if you're like, again, gun to your head, pick your favorite song in the entire world. Without Love, Bon Jovi, no questions asked. End of story. Period, full stop. Some of their newer, these again are not new. They're kind of really in-betweenish songs, because Bon Jovi has spanned decades, right? We have had so much Bon Jovi. I'm so happy that basically, I mean, I feel like the band was started roughly around the time that I existed, like started to exist, maybe a few years after, but not, we're pretty similar in age, the band and I, not the members, but the band itself and I. But some in-between songs, Lost Highway, because that song, like if any song in the universe makes me want to jump in my car and start driving, and Fiber Spider mentioned a song that does that to him, just makes him want to drive fast, he said. This one, not necessarily fast, but if I'm needing inspiration for a road trip, which you don't really have to bend my, twist my arm to get me to go on a road trip. I do love road trips. But if I ever needed the inspiration, or if any song makes me want to get out and do it right now, it's Lost Highway. And then the last one is Welcome to Wherever You Are, which is just another, I don't even know how to describe this one either. It's kind of telling you to feel like wherever you are, it's okay. Wherever you are in life, in your place in life, be comfortable in your own skin. It's a positive song, but, just welcome to wherever you are. Basically, like, I don't know. You listen to it. Trust me. Hopefully I'll remember to link it, but if I don't, look it up. Number 4 is Skid Row, and I got 2 songs of theirs. I managed to get it down to 2 songs, but Can't Stand the Heartache is my favorite Skid Row song in the entire world. I think it was a B song, like a B-side song to a single that I had, and it's on the album obviously, but I remember I think the first Skid Row tape that I had was a single, and I'm pretty sure this was a B-side. It's on side B of the cassette. I remember that. It's like the first song on side B, I think. But anyway, Can't Stand the Heartache. It's just, I don't know, for a rock band that is so, like, I don't want to say angry, but they are very in your face, as you'll see by the next song. It's not a power ballad, because that would be I Remember You, if I was going to go there. But it is like a sentimental, soft, vulnerability type of song. And, but it's still upbeat. And, the other song that I had picked by them that is always on a playlist, like if I were to make a new playlist, these are the songs that would be on it. I guess that's the best way to describe why I've listed the songs that I have. Here I Am, which is really upbeat, in your face, confrontational. If there's some emotion tied to that, it probably is anger, or at least like rebellion. It's that kind of like jazz you up, kind of get you pumped song, and I love it. It's another song that I think my coworkers probably know all the words to just because of me, even if they don't even know what the song is. They're like, she's singing that song again. Number 5 is Fozzy, and the songs I listed, I highly suggest checking out, are Broken Soul, which is my second favorite song in the world. It's hands down my favorite Fozzy song. And it's a song that you will never hear live, so you do have to look it up. They've already said they're not going to play it live. They have played one little, Rich and Chris basically relearned the song for me, and they played it pre-concert. Some of it. They still didn't get the entire song. I told them, I was like, if just learn the music, I'll come up and sing. But they did that for me, and I was like, there's video out there online on the Fozzy social medias, on my social medias. But yeah, they sang it for me. The song's not for me, but I wish it was. The other songs of theirs that you can see in concert from them are Painless, Bad Tattoo, and they did a cover of SOS. And in my opinion, I say this, and it's not just because it's Fozzy, I say this a lot, in my opinion, the cover is the better version. Like, I know I said that about Cinnamon Girl too. But I mean, there's Enjoy the Silence by Lacuna Coil. I feel like it's on the same level, if not better, than the original, which may be sacrilege to some people, but all I have to say to that is go listen to Lacuna Coil. Jack Off Jill did a cover of Love Song, The Cure's Love Song, I believe. which I don't, that one maybe, okay, it's not better because I mean The Cure, but it's definitely on the level of, there's an awful lot of remakes that probably aren't as good, I'm sure, but like the ones that I really gravitate towards, well, duh, I guess that saying that now out loud sounds stupid, but I was going to say the ones that I really gravitate towards are in my opinion, better than the originals. Duh, that's why I like them, but that's why I'm mentioning them, so you guys can check them out. But yeah, anyway, at number 6, we'll just move on from that dumb sentence that I just said. Number 6, The Bites. They're a newer group that I found. They've toured with Sebastian Bach, speaking of Skid Row. I believe they're on tour in England now or coming up, but they're, you know, like a newer band, but they have like this edgy 80s kind of feel, right? You'll know, like, if you look them up, you'll know, but they're basically like an 80s party band, kind of. They're fun. They're energetic. They have a really great show. I wrote down Pretty Boys and Knocking on the Door, but I think you could probably listen to pretty much any of them. They have a song called Heather Leather, which I almost wrote down too. And when I met the band after the show that I saw, their lead singer Jordy was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I was like, "Heather." And he just laughed and he's like, "No, it isn't." And I was like, yeah, I'm Heather. Number 7 is Van Halen, and I did narrow it down to 2 songs because, well, not because, but I think I gravitate towards these because I am definitely, to settle the age-old question for me, I'm a Sammy girl. Like David Lee Roth had his good points, but yeah, Sammy was the lead singer for me. What are you? Are you a Sammy person or a David Lee Roth person? Inquiring minds want to know, let me know down below. But I put down Why Can't This Be Love and Love Walks In. I think they're on the same album. Maybe they're not, but they are both Sammy, and they both have a similar vibe, like, which is just like a yes rock, but very mystical rock love song. I don't explain things as well as I wish I did, but it's a very glammy feel to the Van Halen sound, right? It's pretty wonderful. Hey, Maverick, no, come here. Okay, we got fireworks starting up, so I may have to pause. We'll see. Number 8, we'll just move right on. Number 8, 38 Special. This is another band that I am in love with, like the whole band. I love them so very much. The one song I narrowed it down to was Caught Up in You, because that's the first song that I fell in love with, and I feel like that is like what they're known for, I guess. But they have a lot of really, really good songs. I was fortunate enough, I thought they were done touring, and I was fortunate enough to see them in concert twice now. I would give anything to go see them again too. So if they tour again, I'm gonna go. Even if I go by myself, I don't care. I have loved them for a super long time. I was so excited to hear that they were touring again when I thought they were done. And their show is still really, really good. So, 38 Special, Caught Up in You. Number 9, I couldn't make a list without listing my mega happy song, which is Karma Chameleon by the Culture Club. I don't even know, like, I guess, I don't know how, I could be sad, I could be angry, I could be just upset and absolutely trapped in emotions. And if Karma Chameleon comes on, at least for that like 5 minutes, I am super happy. Just, you know, it's one of those songs that I just can't, it doesn't amplify emotions, it changes them. Like it makes me absolutely giddy. I have to sing along. I have to move along. I love that song so very much. I highly suggest you check it out if you haven't, but everybody surely has, right? And number 10 is the Beatles. I wrote down, I Want to Hold Your Hand. That was the first song I ever heard of theirs, and the song my grandpa used to sing with me. Across the Universe, Norwegian Wood, and then Free as a Bird, which is a newer like archive song that came out after, you know, the Beatles broke up, after Lennon's death, after all of that. And I love that song so much. Like, I'm glad I got to experience that being released in my lifetime. But all really good songs. And I had a couple of honorable mentions. One tied in is just, yes, the Beatles, but yes, John Lennon on his own, just the man himself. I feel the same way about him that I did Peter Steele. So I'm not going to talk again. I get emotional every time I talk about how the world lost him, and we're not going to do that. But his song Imagine makes it to pretty much every playlist. I've done it in karaoke. I love that song so very much. Hey. I'll be right back. Sorry, I'm back. Mr. Naughty Pants decided that he was going to find a rose on, like a fake rose on the floor and start eating it. Yes, so we had to get that. Anyway, where was I? Honorable mentions of John Lennon. And then the other honorable mention that we had, I would be remiss to not put Megadeth on this list. Megadeth was one of the first... What are you finding? Hey. Hey. Sorry, puppy distraction. One moment. What are you finding? There's nothing else back there. Don't pick stuff, okay? Okay? Here, play with your toy. Here. What is that? What is that? Anyway. Megadeth is one of the first, like, heavy rock metal bands that I discovered. Fell in love with them at a pretty early age, maybe after Bon Jovi, but like they're definitely heavier than Bon Jovi. The two songs that I wrote down that I feel like you absolutely have to listen to, they would have been the first songs on one of my playlists. They probably have been the first songs on one of my playlists. A Tout le Monde, which, first of all, the name itself like grabs me anyway. You know, it's French. It's a song about like how do you say goodbye? This song talks about, you know, preparing yourself for death, and having to say goodbye to that person. It's pretty deep. Do not listen if you're depressed, maybe. I don't know. Like, seriously. I don't know. It's maybe if you are, it'll help you through it. I don't know. But it's beautiful. And I would describe it as haunting and enchanting. Especially for like a metal rock, hard rock group like that. Yeah, it definitely is. I know the French in it is à tout le monde et tous mes amis, je dois partir. If I pronounced that fully right, I don't know, but I know it translates to like to the world, to all my friends, I must go, I must depart. And I don't know, there's just something so like beautiful about the whole idea of it. Maybe that's, you know, my gothiness showing, but I don't know, I love it. And the other one, which gets you completely out of that mindset, is Peace Sells, But Who's Buying, which is fast-paced and hard-hitting, I guess would be a good word for it. And it's kind of a political stance in a way, which still rings true today. Like, yeah, peace is great and everything, but people are more opinionated and at arms when there's something to complain about or something to get worked up about, and that's like the idea behind it. Everybody wants peace, but really all we do is have war. Even if it's like within ourselves, or, you know, you can get pretty deep with it. But yeah, I had to mention that. So there you go. Though that is my playlist. Sorry, I was checking on Mr. Chews a lot out there. He really doesn't chew up that much stuff. I don't know. It must have fallen off of my shelf and he just decided that now is the time. But anyway, he's just napping. I don't think you can see him out there, but he's just napping. Now on to the crochet questions. There are 10 of them. And I did write myself like little notes off to the side just because I was like, I don't want to forget anything. But number one, what? My blankets are falling. My blanket's and my shawl. Blanket. shawl. This is a beautiful shawl, isn't it? I love it. That is, here, let me just get this out of the way. Speaking of crochet, this is the shawl that was won in the auction that we had for the pet charity. Hope won this and then had Tracy send it to me. So this is by Tracy from I Love Loopy Crochet, but it is from Hope, and it is beautiful and I love it. And it's been so warm now that I definitely can't wear it now, but I still keep it back here on my chair, draped up. I don't know why it fell. I don't know why the whole blanket just decided to. And then there's something that I had been working on. It's just a leaf. Look, you get yarn in this video too. It's a leaf. Have not made any. I think I made one other one or started one other one, but anyway, put that up later. Crochet questions. Number one was, how did you learn to crochet? So many years ago, probably like, I was still married then. So I got divorced in 2013. So it was probably like 2011 or so. A lady that I worked with, she crocheted. And I think I've told you before that I knew how to knit. I taught myself how to knit before that, years before that. But I wanted to learn to crochet because it seemed like at the time, okay, cool, I knit, but everyone cool is crocheting. So I wanted to learn how to crochet. Plus my aunt used to crochet. I could not learn from her. This lady crocheted. So she did her best to try to teach me. I did get the basic concept. I got the chaining. I got the single crochet okay. And that's kind of where I stopped at the moment, you know, like, And then I discovered YouTube. Or discovered, you know, like tutorials and things on YouTube. And Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And then it's a lady she's gone now, but I believe she was called Crochet Geek. I think that was her name. Anyway, it was quite a while ago. And her channel, I don't even think her actual channel is there anymore. I saw... When I went looking for her before, I saw that I don't know if it was Arabic. It was a different nation. It was a foreign nation to here. I had reposted some of her videos. But they were her videos. Like she's the one who taught me how to do like granny squares and just a bunch of different things. Like between her and Mikey, that was how I learned to crochet really, after the basic chain single crochet that this lady from work taught me. Yeah. And then, so yeah, I've been crocheting probably since 2011. It was not like my whole lifetime by any means, but you know, it's been a while. Number two, what is your favorite thing to crochet? Blankets. Granny squares for blankets. You know, if you've been around the channel, you already know I do not do sewing of granny squares. I do the continuous join and crochet them together. But I love blankets of all sorts. It's okay. It's okay. No one's at the door. It's okay. Like, I'm glad the fireworks don't scare him, but he definitely always thinks that there's somebody here. Number three. Oh, Mavy Poo. Okay, we might have to pause this. Because his dad's trying to sleep too. Yeah, I'll be back, you guys. So sorry guys, I'm back. I think the fireworks may have dulled down. He, like I said, I don't remember if it was this video now or the one I did before, but he always thinks that it's somebody knocking. Like that's the kind of bark he gives. He's not scared, but he's always like, who dares to come in our space, you know? So that's my pup. So I do hear, it sounds like the neighbors are now lighting stuff off. So we'll see how long this section lasts. But to finish the questions, I know it's only been a couple seconds for you guys. It's been a while for us. Question number 3. If you could only use one yarn, what would it be? Now I know Fiber Spider also asked this, well, not asked it, but he mentioned that it doesn't mention like specifically if you're talking about just like one fiber, one type of yarn. I would choose acrylic, just because it's versatile, it's easily found, it's usually cheaper. I have no prejudices or fears or anything against acrylic, so I would use acrylic. But if you're talking like what specific brand, or one specific type, I would probably go with, that's harder. That's much harder. I mean, like fiber, hands down, acrylic. It's not that I don't like other fibers, but I'm staring at all my happy yarn. In case, for those of you who don't know, like right up in front of me is 2 shelves that are mostly all yarn is happy to me is the thing, but like it's got like my Halloween yarn and my rainbow yarns, and I know there's other rainbow yarns going on too, but I want to say Ferris wheel. My only hang up with using only Ferris wheel is there's no solid color. I want to mix solid with all the pretty, right? I think I would still go with Ferris wheel. Like, just, there's still plenty of things that you can make with just the marled, twirly variegatedness of it, right? But a really close, like, if you take into consideration mixing in solids, I probably just go with, I want to say Big Twist Value, but we don't really, I mean, yeah, it's getting picked up here and there, and maybe, I don't know. It's kind of insert here, to be fully honest, if you're taking into effect that you want to have pretty variegated colors and solids to set them off. If you do that, you could, I would either happily go, I don't mind Red Heart Super Saver. I would go with Red Heart Super Saver, or I would go with Big Twist Value, or I would go with like Hirschner's with their Worsted 8 line. All of them have beautiful variegateds. Red Heart has kind of shied away from the variegateds that I like. They don't have a whole lot of quick color changing. They have some, but they don't have a lot. Big Twist had just gotten me all hopeful with like the rainbow and the lake house and stuff like that, where they had a lot of quick color changes for their variegations. And Hirschner's has some stuff like that. I don't know how to answer that better than that. Definitely acrylic, but it's kind of a mix-up. Maybe I should stick with my overall answer of Ferris wheel, because, you know, I'd make it work. I love working with the yarn itself. Number 4, the weirdest thing you ever crocheted. I even enlisted David's help trying to remember this, and he thinks that I crocheted something like a cover to something, and he doesn't remember what, and I don't know what he's talking about. I'm thinking he thinks I made like some cozies or something like that, and he finds that weird. I was thinking, or he said my monsters, like he just thinks they're weird. He doesn't think they're bad. He just thinks, you know, like Jamie Monster. He said they're weird, you know, which, okay, I see what he means. I don't know. I think, and I don't have a picture of it right now, but I made a couple of, they're not so much the rage right now, but you know, like mermaid tail blankets, when you could cover up with the blanket and your feet go into this little kind of pocket and it's a mermaid tail. Along those lines, I have a pattern, not my own, I'm saying I own a pattern for a shark version of that. So your feet go into like the shark tail, and what you're covering up with is its mouth, and it's got a row of teeth and everything. I've made a couple of those. I think they're pretty weird. I've made just one-off random things, like I was asked before to make custom covers for headphones. It's kind of weird, but it's not anything like abnormal, you know, the difference. But anyway, I'm gonna go with the shark blanket. I don't know what, I mean, weird is in the eye of the beholder, right? So I don't know. Some people think shawls are weird. I've made a lot of shawls. So I guess I'm gonna go with the shark blanket. Number 5, something you will never crochet. I don't know. Like, never say never is what I was thinking. I actually wrote that down in my notes. Never say never, but a general answer would be anything with blanket yarn. I don't see me ever using blanket yarn. I had one skein of it as a gift from someone that was a dear friend, so I used it and I made it like little covers of stuff, like Swiffer covers, things like that with it. And then I made, another friend of mine, her daughter wanted a hat made with blanket yarn, so I did that, and then I gave the rest away because I just did not. I don't ever want to make anything with blanket yarn. Specifically the Loop It blanket yarn. I tried. I hate it. I gave it away. Yeah, I never want that ever again. So that, something with those, but I don't, one specific thing, I don't know what I would say. I'm open to mostly anything. Number 6, where do you get your inspiration? I would say the internet, because I would say YouTube, looking through tutorials, watching my friends' channels. If somebody makes something really cool, that I'm like, I want to make that too, or if, I don't know, if I'm looking up a blanket pattern, sometimes what I'll do is, like, if I specifically want certain colors, or like a retro color, like a retro vibe, and that's 9 times out of 10, that's what I'm looking for, something retro-y. And I'll just, put that into Google and take off. So yeah, the internet just in general, I think, or the 80s, the 70s and 80s, I draw a lot of inspiration from that. Even when I don't look up stuff, those are the colors I gravitate towards that I want to use. Those are the colors that I have in my collection. Those are the designs, and either the internet or like retro vibes, I guess, would be the best way to sum all that up. But that's where I get my inspiration for a lot of things. My favorite thing that I've made this year, a lot of things that I have are like squares for blankets, so the blanket itself isn't completed, or things like that. I made a lot of hats. A lot of hats. I went on a hat kick that I'm still in the middle of. I think my favorite thing is probably this whale. Actually, did I make maybe him? Because I believe I made him in January, my Jamie monster. But if I'm wrong, then Kirby. Because I felted, that's needle felting. And it may not be the exact Kirby face, it may look a little wonky, but I'm pretty proud of him. I like him a lot. I had planned to make keychains for a show that I never ended up going and doing, so there were not a ton of Kirby's made, but I think those are my favorite things for this year. You think it would be a blanket. I don't think I completed any blankets yet. Like, I have a lot of bits and pieces because I've been wanting to like go through and like the tweed squares I've been doing, or like the movie marquee squares that I'm doing, or, you know, things like that. There's a vintage Afghan that I started squares for, and when I get done with the tweed, that's what I plan to move on to. But they're not complete yet. So maybe by the end of the year, I could answer that better. But so far this year, I haven't completed a lot of things besides hats. Number 8, crochet plans that you're excited about for the future. Now, I'm going to split that up because like crochet plans for my channel, I have started clearing out the space in front of me, so I'm really hoping to get back to tutorials, and I'm excited to do that. Even if they're not for full patterns, like I have a few tutorials on this channel for just like stitches, or like I have a basic solid granny square. I could do the regular granny square or other variations of that. And I want to do like other just stitches also, because you guys see me use a lot of stitches, and I might talk about, oh, there's no pattern, it's just this stitch, but maybe some of you don't know what this stitch is, you know. So I want to do kind of like a basics 101 series with stitches, or like a stitch class, or I don't know what I would call it, but I want to do some more of that kind of thing, and then you can take and create as you go. And I'm really excited to get back to that. It's finding the time, the energy, and the will to clear up the last of my recording space. And then it won't be till it's not hot in here, because as I've mentioned many times, it's hot in here in this room. So yeah, but I am excited about that. As far as crochet like projects that I want to do, this summer I am still really hoping to do that 80s. I really hope with all this talk that the video is still out there, but I had saved a video because, you know, the macrame owls, which I love. I cannot macrame. I found one at a thrift store that I love. It's hanging in my walkway to my house. I'm in love with it. And I would have an army of owls, but I can't macrame. So it would just be as I find them. But there's a crochet tutorial. I want to say it's in Spanish, but there's subtitles. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the other way around. But either way, when I watched it, I was like, I can do this. I can just watch him and do this. It's fine. So I really want to get to that. Plus, I am making, and you'll see this later, I haven't showed it yet, I don't think. Like, I might have texted a couple of friends some pictures, but I'm making what I'm calling my witchy blanket, or my witch cottage blanket, since I'm always saying that I'm going to run away and, you know, live in a witch cottage in the woods. I am making a blanket that's sort of inspired by that, and I will show it to you. I have a few squares done. I'm nowhere near completion. Like, that's an ongoing happy project, basically, that I need to bring out and show you at least my plans for. But I am really excited about both of those things. Other than that, I'm excited to get back into the swing of crocheting for the fall charity for the pet shelter that we're trying to help them raise their money for saving their shelter. More details to come, or there's an old video showing, it'll be the same thing, but for this year, basically. There'll be an old video, a couple of them, I'm sure, on my channel talking about this whole deal. If you care to peruse all my old videos, I guess. Turn the light back on. Number 9, the worst thing about crochet. Well, I think Fiber Spider touched on like the money and the room, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, you've seen me record in front of this. You know I have a room upstairs, and I think most of you probably know that in this room right here where Maverick is, there's one shelf that David had made me that has also housing yarn. Like, I'm not want for yarn, but space and the money put into, you know, like if I had a house fire today and it was gone, I'm sure our insurance will, like, how's house insurance work? It only covers a certain amount. Will that even cover my yarn collection? I don't know. But it would be a very big loss emotionally and monetarily. Let's, you know, even at the clearance prices that I've gotten stuff at, let's be honest. But the other side of, like, the other worst thing about crochet, and kind of hand in hand with that, in my notes, I wrote yarn FOMO, fear of missing out. Just because, like, okay, I have all this yarn, and I know I've heard other people say the same thing. I have all this yarn. I need to get rid of my yarn, like work through it at the very least, if not give some away, but like work through what I've got. I have, you know, things I've heard. I have so much yarn. I have to work through it. I should get rid of it. I have enough yarn to last me past the end of my life expectancy, you know, just, and yet something new comes out, or like in my case, especially Halloween stuff comes out. Like that will be my downfall. I know for a fact. Or in my case, is with a lot of people, like Joann's closed. So like you want that yarn, you want it, you won't get it again. Your fear of missing out is kicking in. You're getting anxious. You're sweaty thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like it's bad. Like, and especially if you like collect the yarn, like some of you guys are amazing and will say, I only get enough yarn for the project I'm working on, or I only have one box, you know, like one small box of yarn or whatever. And that's great. That is great for you. Like, I truly believe whatever makes you happy. And if having less yarn, if only having what you want on hand at that time makes you happy because it makes your space better, that's amazing. I want a collection. I am about to be one of those people that says, I know I buy yarn, but I also want to free up my space. And that's a fun mixture, right? And that is like the dark side of crochet / yarn collecting. But to me, that's the worst thing, is like the FOMO of it, you know. To end on a happy note, it says number 10, your favorite thing about crochet. And for me, it's, I mean, obviously the creative outlet, but to like explain on that more, the possibilities of what you can do with crochet. And for those of you that are amazing knitters, this may be the same. I'm not saying it's exclusive to crochet. I'm saying it's what I find beautiful about it, is that the possibilities of what you can do are endless. You know, you can do flat things that are just a square like this. And that square can make up sweaters. It can make up blankets. It can make up shirts. It can make up rugs. It can make up whatever you want, right? And that's just a flat square. You can do the same with hexagons. And then you can, you know, I'm going to pull him out again. You can shape things, because then here's, you know, he's 3D. He's in your face. He's amigurumi, you know, little monster guy. And monsters themselves can be any shape, right? So really anything that you can dream up to make, any combination of stitches that go together to form a solid figure can be a monster. It can be a blob monster. It doesn't matter. So you can make things like this. You can meet in the middle, and like I just showed you guys this one, it fell off my chair. But you know, this is leaf shape. Sorry about the ends; they're not woven in. Oh, because is this one the not complete one? It's complete. It's just not woven in. But it's flat, and it can be made like, I think when I first saw something like this, they actually had it. I don't know, they had multiple ones of it like this or something, and it was a shirt. So, I mean, you can make a shirt out of it, but it's also flat. I'm sure this can somehow be made into a blanket, or maybe if it's big enough. Oh no. Fireworks are next door. I'm glad I'm at the end of this for you guys. But it's a shape, you know, at the same time. It's flat, it's a shape. It can be made into other things if you want. It could be, you could frame this and have this beautiful fall leaf. But there are endless possibilities to what you can do. You're only limited by your imagination, basically, you know. And hand in hand with that, at least for me, and probably for a lot of people who do it and who would watch this, it's stress relief. And I think that's it's wonderful. People need to have an outlet for their stress and for, you know, to forget their problems for a while or make everything seem a little more bearable. And for me and for others, I'm sure crochet does that. I do have other like creative outlets like writing and stuff. I know I've mentioned before, but crochet is a big one. And you can do that while you're like watching TV, watching movies, listening to music. And some people do it while they're walking and running and stuff. You know, if you're really talented. I know Carrie Penny does that. I don't think I could do that. Maybe with some practice, I don't know. But yeah, so that is the 10 questions. And the playlist from before I stopped recording. And we need to tag some folks. So, I am going to tag Erin from Crafting Kitty. I am going to tag, I'll tag Carrie Penny also, Happy Crafty Homemaker. And I will also tag Hooked on Wishing Crochet. Hooked on Wishing Crochet? Hooked on Wishing. It'll be linked down below. But go check them out anyway. And go check their channels out and see if they play along and answer. And maybe maybe you guys were already tagged for this and I didn't notice. But if you weren't, or if you want to do one of the two, or, you know, whatever. And for you guys who I may not have tagged, but if you want to do it, consider yourself tagged. All inclusive here with the tags. And if you don't have a channel and you want to, like, tell me what your answers are to these. Tell me what your playlist loves are. Tell me what your must listen to music is. Tell me the answers to the questions, which I will write down below. But yeah, if you want to do that in the comments, if you want to do that on my Facebook group, which is also linked down below, go for it. But other than that, I am going to let you guys go because now the fireworks are closer to home than downtown. So I hope you guys are having a happy and safe 4th of July. Yeah, I'm very surprised little man is still, like, he was barking with the ones downtown, and the ones that went off down here, he's not. So anyway, I'm not going to press my luck. I will talk to you guys later. So I love you. Bye, guys.